Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? It's your girl, May Money, back in the building for another episode of the Millennial Gaze. I am so freaking excited to, first of all, be here with all of you and all the viewers watching today on this fabulous Tuesday. Happy birthday to my homie, my ex husband, who I love dearly.
No.
Happy birthday to my one of my best friends, Leo season. I hope he's having a great day. I hope everybody else is having a great day. And I am here. Welcome in the chat. Please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe because we got some shit to talk about. And honestly, it's real. It's real. So I want to welcome Katie, who always is here. And then we have a special guest today, Richard Taylor from Taylor House Publishing. Please give him, and don't be acting up because we have guests in the house. I'm gonna need everybody to act appropriately, okay? Because we have a special guest. So please welcome Richard Taylor. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me. First of all, peace and blessings, all praises to the Most High. It's an honor, for y'all guys to invite me on y'all platform to discuss this issue. And shout out to everybody who's in y'all chat. Shout out to everybody who goes on the Taylor House Publishing site. I thank y'all as well. So, happy to be here. Happy to to connect with some millennials, as you call it. So, I'm definitely excited to be here.
This is going to be fun. You're muted, May.
Katie, tell us a little bit about yourself and where are you from, Richard, before...
So I'm from Goldsboro, North Carolina. I spent about 20 years in Virginia Beach, Virginia,
nice.
Chesapeake, 757 as they call it. So, Goldsboro, North Carolina is my home, which I live in now.
Very cool. Yeah, so I'm Katie. I'm a musician and mom by day and do this a lot of nights. I live in Pennsylvania, lived here my whole life except for the 3 years I lived in Las Vegas with my husband, and I'm excited to talk about tonight's topic.
All right, and I'm gonna ask everybody to keep our chat respectful because first of all, I'm gonna let everybody know up in this motherfucking chat, I don't play these games. Katie is the fucking homie. She is a real one. She has been through more than any of you raggedy hoes over here thinking that you know some shit have ever been through. So if you got a problem, then you can see your way out. You can go find any other channel on the planet to be hateful on, but this ain't the spot. So let's just make sure that we know what the fuck is up in this building. Are we clear? So let's move on because we're going to have a good night, day tonight, all right?
Thanks, May.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm from Oakland, California. I don't know if y'all knew, but I'm so happy to have all of our communities here together because we are going to talk about something that I think is very important. We're going to talk about the Cincinnati Brawl and the truth about it because what I think is so important. Actually, let me talk about how we got here. I found Mr. Mr. Rich Taylor, because I was searching for the actual facts about this story that happened in Cincinnati. I'm so sorry for the cursing. Y'all better get used to it. But you know what is worse than me saying curse words is fascism, which we are literally facing right now. So choose what it is that you want, okay? And I will try to restrict my language because I see there are some sensitive people in here, but I'm not appalling. You know what's appalling? This story that we're going to talk about right now. Anywho, I digress. So this story has been extremely covered and extremely biased and extremely racist. That's a curse word. Fascist, that's a curse word. and just bigoted, hey Jazzy, on each level. So I want to go into this. Let's go ahead and start with our first clip, and we're gonna just get into the story, okay, you guys? And I hope you guys have your snacks and whatever beverages you need. Sit back and relax because we're really gonna have to discuss this. All right. Katie, give me the spiel while I get the first one, please.
If you haven't yet, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We do our normal live on the Millennial Gaze every Monday, 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. It's May and I, and we bring some of our friends from the We the People Unite channel who do live streams every Wednesday and Friday, same time, same place.
Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Video. Ugh, I wish I had that 2 screen. I'll get that. Oh, and I must scroll down. I just gotta let everybody know that I have to scroll into the comments so that I don't get flagged. Okay, so might look a little bit weird, but just
we got flagged by South Park. We don't want that again.
Yeah, and it's too much editing, and I'm not trying to deal with all of that. Okay, so anyway, can you see it?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Town beatdown. WLWT just got permission to use it from the person who shot it from the beginning.
Yeah, Marvin C. Bennett runs a workout business called LT's Gym. He tells me that he was out creating content when that fright broke out right in front of him. We're going to show it to you in real time and then again in slow motion here. So watch closely. The black man in the red shirt gets slapped in the face by the white guy, and then it erupts with many other people jumping in here. You see all those punches being thrown, eventually spilling out into the street right there at 4th and L. Marvin gets around the car and gives us a better view here. Eventually, a few people lying in the road getting kicked and punched while on the ground. So this is outside of Love Bar early Saturday morning. Here's the slow-mo look. Again, you can see the black man and the white man squaring off with the white guy slapping the other guy in the face. Turns into an ugly scene right there, a brawl and a beatdown. At least 6 people were hurt. So far, the incident has led to 6 people facing charges.
We are leading the.
Okay, so let me. Oh, cool! It kind of stopped itself. I had to just start off with the basic kind of narrative that we got going on here. Sorry. Ugh. You guys see me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for those asking in the chat, we can't show the whole video due to copyright. We don't want to get flagged.
Yeah, and also the violence and stuff. Like, they'll like cut off the whole thing, and it's a nightmare. So yeah, and we just want to. So if you want, I will definitely put everything down in post below. So if you want to watch the video for yourself, that will all be down below. So no worries about that, but we just want to keep this running as smoothly as possible so that the story stays on the internet. All right. So I just want to say, first of all, that is the first part. That is the narrative that was not shown from the very beginning, right? What happened was the black dude was slapped first. Actually, there was a whole kind of de-escalation process that happened. We're gonna have Mr. Richard pop in because he knows like more than I do, because I'm not even in the area anywhere near. And actually, I want to let you just hop in and tell the initial kind of story to our audience.
Yeah, so basically, the Cincinnati Jazz Fest is a very prolific event that has been happening in Cincinnati for years and years. Recently, it has lost its muster from a guy who lives there. He said, man, people from all over, like, Indiana, Michigan, St. Louis, everybody would come to the Cincinnati Jazz Fest, dress nice. It was a real big event. They had a lot of sponsors. But, in recent years, it seems as if there has been some disagreement with, as he put it, the black people pretty much taking over downtown Cincinnati with that fest. And he mentioned, for a lot of years, there have been white people who come during that time and try to antagonize it. Whether it's, being drunk, walking up into the crowd, trying to entice, or, yelling the racial slurs like that happened. And he said this is not the first incident that happened like that. There's been several incidents. And he said, he had mentioned himself that, I have seen, I've seen a couple of white people get knocked out, before this year. And so, that is the dynamic that this incident happened in. You can actually see in the beginning of that video where, the white guy and the black guy was kind of squaring up, and, they were little air punches thrown, little air kicks, but nobody connected. And then the white guy squared up with another brother. And then, so you see about 3 or 4 black people stepping in and be like, look, y'all chill. Evidently it had been going on for a while. So now I'm not in Cincinnati, I'm in North Carolina. But they attempted to break it up, in which, everything seemed calm. And then they started talking. And when they started talking, then the white guy got aggressive again and slapped the black man. Now, then, the initial guy that the white man was squaring up with, he's the one who initiated the retaliation, I would say, or the response to the attack. And then everybody else just piled in. But of course, when the media showed the first videos, you just saw the continuation of that, where, the white guy was on the ground, getting kicked, getting elbowed, just really getting mollywopped, as they say.
Yep, straight up.
Getting mollywopped.
Getting mollywopped.
Getting dog walked, like my man Craig Smith say. But
I ain't know how to hold you, bro.
And somebody mentioned it as well. He said blacks are tribal, which means, we're going to try our best to avoid the situation, which they did, but to put it in, street lingos, once one go, everybody goes. Or, somebody will say, if you rocking, I'm rolling. So basically, when the first guy went, because everybody was there together, and everybody had been enduring the same, onslaught of racial slurs or the same agitation, then everybody was like, okay, well, it's on now. And so that's what happened. But the news only showed at the beginning that reaction, which made it very well look like, okay, well, this is terrible. This is terrible. These are just blacks attacking white people. And, they made it seem like that, it was just a white couple leaving dinner from Applebee's, having, some pasta fajoule or something, but it wasn't that, so, but somebody mentioned, that we are tribal people. So it doesn't matter. Like, say if it was a white guy who had been slapped by the white man and he was with the black people would have did the same thing in defense of that white guy that was with them. So, but yeah, so that's what everybody is kind of disturbed about, the way the story is
and you should be. I would hope that you are disturbed by that, because you had some infiltrators, some escalators, some I'm really escaping. The word is escaping me. It rhymes with every one of them that I just used. Anyway, the instigators that did this whole shit. Like I'm from Oakland, fucking California. Okay, like that does not happen out here, because they know that is not okay. Y'all have a extreme racism problem. Marvin, we you know why we got a white woman in the conversation, because we need more white people in this conversation. But you're too locked in into hatred and not understanding how to talk to people and reason with people, that you're over here sitting in the chat being stupid. Anywho,
Could I say something? So
yes, of course.
I didn't know this was at a jazz fest, and I hate that white people try to claim everything, because jazz has such a rich heritage in the black community, and like, why can't white people just mind their own fucking business? Because like, jazz has, and it's not just jazz, it's so many other genres that white people just love to steal and say that they did it themselves. So, and
We
I
were
just,
talking about this the other day.
yeah, we were, and it's just like, I love history, and I love studying accurate history, not what a lot of people try to like spew and whitewash all of it. So, and especially being a musician, like I know my stuff. I love jazz, and like the fact that this happened at a jazz fest, just like, it breaks my heart. And of course, white people fucked it up.
And they weren't from Cincinnati. Let's keep
Of
that
course
clear.
they weren't.
It's always some bumfuckery, some old rando from whoever, from wherever, just trying to start problems. They are not from Cincinnati. That is not the Cincinnati community. My ex-husband, who I am dearly good friends with, actually helped to set up some of that jazz festival. He's out there right now. He's also a white man, but is like one of the best human beings I've ever met in my life, and helped put up the stage rigging and all of that. And so it's always somebody coming in from the outside because they're bored with their life, coming in and disrupting people and trying to start problems with people. And then everybody's all flabbergasted when they get their ass whooped. Okay, that's the end and all of the story. I don't even know why we have to have multiple videos about a very simple solution to what we all saw in video. But okay, let's go ahead and let's go to the next clip. Katie, can you hold me up real quick?
Yeah, and before you do that, because I see a lot of people saying, as far as being outside at that type of night, like I said, it was 3 a.m. in the morning, and the right reverend said it best. He said, when you go out, control your drinking. Now, I don't think he was talking to the black people. He was really talking to the white people, because that's what it was. The guy was obviously drunk, because when you do that, if you walk up and slap a black person in a crowd of black people after yelling racial slurs, like, you got to be drunk. So that's one issue. And also the guy was from Russia, and that goes to another issue, because from my understanding, if I'm not mistaken, somebody said he was already back in Russia. So he was not even here. And it's almost like the government says, okay, well, Russians have more rights than, black people. And then somebody said they were paid agitators. You never know. You never know, because we have
that's crazy.
The Hegelian dialectic principle. If you don't know what that is, you start a problem, you cause an outrage, and then you present a solution. So the problem was, this big brawl, but the original problem was the black people taking over downtown every year. So how do we stop this from happening? We bring somebody to to incite the people and then cause this brawl. Okay, now that's the major problem. And then, okay, now the solution, the end of Jazz Fest, to get more police out there in the streets, to, make Cincinnati a less friendly black place, because these black people always come down and mess it up. When that was the end goal all the while. So that may be something that we have to look at, as far as the paid agitators aspect. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. No, I'm gonna just go ahead and play this next clip, like this little bit here, because what I really want to point out is the media aspect. And I want everybody, all of our viewers, thank you for being here, by the way, to take notice of how biased the media attention is to this, and how the way that the story is being told. We have plenty of like, this story should have been like kind of handled a while ago, pretty much from day one. And but here we are in the news. And why? So it's a pretty obvious answer, but here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and press oh, I gotta switch.
After facing a judge this morning, Dominic Kittle is facing charges of felonious assault and aggravated rioting. Prosecutors say Kittle attacked a man from behind and tried to take his wallet. When he was unsuccessful, prosecutors say he knocked someone out. Now, Kittle's attorney says Kittle has schizophrenia and was scared. He also brought up the lack of charges for a man seen throwing a punch in those videos online.
He's charged with an M1, and everybody got charged with the F4. Everybody that was involved, except for the man that throws the first punch and the man that says the N-word multiple times to black people, which I find to be very
This is not the place to grandstand.
I'm not trying to grandstand, Your Honor, but I just think that
We're here
those are
setting
important.
bonds.
I know, but we have to understand what happened to him that night and why he made these alleged decisions that he made. And I think that that's an important part of that story.
Now, Kittle is set to return to court August 8th.
Yep.
It's interesting to me that you say that you're going to stay.
See, sorry.
I love that the judge is like, this is not the place to grandstand. Then when is? We can't just let shit like this happen all the time.
Oh my God. The chat is on fire.
Everybody thinks that, like, well, not everybody. I know probably most of the people watching this don't think that, but like, people always have this thing of like, oh, all the white people are so innocent. And I could go on for days about just like statistics of just crime and things that like this administration loves to spew that anyone with melanin in their skin is doing. But really, it's all the white people who have way worse statistics regarding crime, the R word, like just so much stuff. And I can't.
Yeah, and a little bit about that brother right there. If I'm not mistaken, that is the person that they were calling Goonie 2 times. And yes, as the guy mentioned, he has schizophrenia. And so if you're like, the couple of people call me, like everybody knows him in Cincinnati. Like, he's one of the mainstays, around town. And you can look at him in that picture and tell that, because even somebody mentioned when the video first started circulating, they said, look, stop showing that video. You're not helping him. You think you're helping him. He doesn't really understand what type of trouble he's in. And there you see him at the stand. And he's, I can see some sort of mental condition just the way he's looking, just the way he's dressed. So the fact that, the lawyer made a great point, and the fact that the judge interrupted him, when making a valid argument, and she called it grandstanding, but that's a problem that we have. That was very relevant to the issue, but that's just something that I saw. I never really listened. I read that article, but I didn't listen to it and hear the judge interrupting, and I hear the tone of that judge was like, nah, it don't matter. Basically, what she was saying, it don't matter. It don't matter what he said. That's what I took from her words. It don't matter what he did. This guy did what he did, and that's a part of the biggest issue. Definitely a biased judge tonight.
And something else you also have to take into consideration is, didn't they say he suffered from schizophrenia?
Yes.
Yeah, and like mental health, that's just a whole other thing that people just love to ignore.
Mm-hmm.
And so But
in Katie, like, this story is so like telling of how our system is working, and I'm getting frustrated because people are really thinking that we are getting due process anymore right now. People are really thinking that we're able to get lawyers. Look what they did to they haven't even, wasn't a Richard, if I'm not mistaken, I watched one of your videos. You said that the white dude lawyer said, oh no, we don't have to answer no questions or something. They pretty much just was like, oh no, we don't even have to be investigated or something, pretty much along those lines. I don't know, like but
Yeah,
basically the
when the
white people
news,
are not even, they have a lawyer that's just like, oh, we don't even have to engage.
yeah, when the news, there was they had the press conference talking about it. They had the chief of police, the sheriff, the city manager. They had the mayor. They had some community leaders, and when they open up for question and answer, a reporter just straight up asked them. There's three other people charged. Will the white guy who slapped, the first person, will he be charged also? And the police chief said, well, we tried to talk to him, but his lawyer said no. So we haven't been able to have that conversation, like as if it was up to him or his lawyer whether he would be charged when a few seconds earlier she had just said that everybody that participated in violence would be charged. So right there, it couldn't be any clearer. It was dumbfounding that, it was obvious to me that
it's obvious to everybody, but
it doesn't seem that they're going to charge him.
These people are not following law. And I need everybody to understand that these people are not following any fucking rules. Look at what's happening to the migrants and the immigrants and U.S. citizens in this country. Okay, these people are not following any rules at all.
This is a lawless nation right now.
So I don't know. Don't be flabbergasted. And so like, oh my God, like because like this shit has been going on and it's been escalating like just at a alarming rate. Okay. I want to bring up someone who I do want to highlight is Madam Victoria Parks, who I think she is a straight up G. Katie, go ahead and give me a spiel while I pull her up, okay?
If you haven't yet, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We are the Millennial Gays on the We the People Unite channel. We are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday with Millennial Gays on Mondays and We the People Unite on Wednesdays. And Fridays we do a round table where a lot of us bring a topic to the table to talk about what's going on. It's 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern.
Dude, you're getting so good at that. That's so sick. Oh, we're getting better at how we do. Me and Katie having fun with Richard, who is a new friend. Ooh, okay. I'm just being silly, you guys.
Someone said the whole.
Yeah, I don't know. Nobody has said whether that Russian woman was his wife or not, but I do know
she just got randomly. She just got bit. She shouldn't have been there. You should have known to move to the side. Like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Yeah, but
I don't think it's rocket science, lady. Don't be in the way when a random freaking brawl that's your dude started happens.
Also,
how fucking difficult is that? All right, we're gonna play Miss Victoria Parks.
Mind? It definitely is. Up until that point, there had been no physical contact. But I wrote what I wrote because I do believe that it's like this, David. In this country, we have freedom of speech, but you can't run into a crowded theater and scream fire. And for the most part, that's what this man did when he reached out and smacked that man.
So you wrote, they begged for that beatdown. Does anyone deserve that kind of beatdown?
I hate this
I
interviewer.
will say this: nobody deserves a beating. There is such thing.
Hold up. Can I just say something? This interview dude is the worst. I mean, what the fuck, bro? I mean, if you guys watch this entire interview, it is nauseating.
It's
This
painful.
dude, like, kept asking the same question over and over, and she like answered it and was like, don't put hands on people and you won't get mollywops, bro.
But he kept
Period.
asking her that same question because he wanted to give an answer. He wanted to give an answer that she didn't give. So he kept trying to get her to say something that he wanted her to say, but she was too sharp to fall for it. Like
I don't think you even have to be sharp. Just tell the truth. Well, I saw what I saw.
I hate how there's like a 3-minute pause after everything he asks, and he just sits there like what?
What are you doing, bro? Like, this is a whole dummy mission right now. Like, this is like the hugest waste of time. Like, why are you here right now, dude? Ugh, it just pisses me off like royally. All right, we'll keep going because she handles these people.
Inappropriate actions, and there are consequences to actions. And that is what my post meant.
You also said that you're grateful for the whole story. What did you mean by that?
Right. My question was, why would the community, why would a crowd of people jump on somebody like that? And then when I viewed the entire video, I discovered why. This man agitated the crowd. And, David, some people may not like what I said, but I said what I said.
And you still stand by it?
I do.
So, almost as much as this.
Oh my God. Okay. Yes. She's, bruh. Yes.
So
they got stomped out. Dude slapped them, and they got their ass whooped. What more do you want? Why does he keep going around and around? And look at his serious ass face. Look at that. Look at that face. Oh, look at it. He's so cute. He's so serious right now. Like, what are you doing right now, sir? What's this guy's name?
He kept asking her, like I said, he kept asking her, are you mad because they're calling him a victim? You know, when she asked it one way, but do you feel bad that they're calling him a victim? And then she said something else. Well, do you not like the fact, he kept trying to get her to say something that could be used against her, but
like, no, but you can watch the video again. Did you watch the same video? Ugh.
Yeah, so but yeah, that was he was
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Look at his face. Katie, what you gotta say about that?
I don't even he just, if you look up the word duh in the dictionary, it's this guy's face.
He got the rock eyebrow. Look at that. That's a people's eyebrow. All right.
I love your wrestling references. I love them.
Fight has received attention. Your comments have received attention. Bernie Moreno, have you seen his comment about what you said? People from all over the country with a national stage are saying you should step down from your position because of those comments.
So what's your question?
Do you think you should step down?
I'm not going anywhere. No.
Why?
Because this is my seat. I come to serve. In this country, I have a freedom of speech, and I am a grown woman. That night when I wrote on the internet, I meant it. That's the way I felt, and I'm not going to back down from it right now. In this city, we have worked so hard to build the kind of community where everybody feels welcomed and respected and expected. And I believe, just like the people who came to Lincoln Heights this past winter, that is an attack on our community. Now, nobody threw hands in Lincoln Heights and Friday night in downtown. If the man had not slapped the black man, everybody would have gone about their business.
So I've told you about the national reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Mika
Oh
Owens
my God.
came out.
If you ask me the fucking same question one more time, I'm about to flash. Like, oh my God. Like, he goes, so if they say that you said that you are inciting violence and you didn't say no, then what would you say? Like, what is happening right now? Why is this news? Why is this?
You could fit
something that people watch?
You could fit a train through his spaces in his sentences. Like,
I'm confused. I'm confused. Like, look at. He's still got the people's eyebrow on. I don't understand what is happening here. This is like a huge embarrassment for our society. Okay. Anyway, do you guys want to go on to the last clip, because this just gets worse and worse? We don't need to see this guy anymore. He's starting to get on my nerves. This is something that I think is important that we look at is Victoria Parks, but it's also this is the actual woman I wanted to talk about, Mika Owens. Look at this interview, and I want everybody to let me know what you think of this, especially people in the chat. I see a lot of people in here. Thank you so much for being here, by the way. It's been a great night, a great day. Everybody is blessed, and I'm happy to have that. We have so many wonderful, aware activists and people for the community here today. Anyway, Katie, give me the spiel. I gotta find a timestamp.
if you haven't yet, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We at the Millennial Gaze are here on Mondays on the We the People Unite channel. We are here 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. And we also have shows on Wednesdays and Fridays. And on Fridays, our panel does a roundtable where we all bring different topics to talk about with everything that's going on. So check us out. Like, subscribe.
A white mom had attacked a black couple, and the black woman was in the hospital and had the injuries that we've seen of these victims. And a white city council member came out and celebrated the attack, said the same things Victoria Parks did. You wouldn't call for her resignation?
You know, this is a moment where, yes, race is certainly playing parts here. Politics is playing a part here, but never okay to condone.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's just a direct yes or no question, if you don't mind.
I would certainly ask anyone to resign who is condoning violence. That is an elected official.
So you're asking for Victoria Parks to resign?
I think that should be an option.
She did condone violence. Okay. Fair enough. I want to just one more thing, and I think a lot of people have sort of seen what's happened in Cincinnati, been horrified. I was too. I'm from St. Louis, where violence has been an issue. Same kind of issue with criminals being emboldened. One of the men who was arrested had been previously indicted in July on weapons charges and account of receiving stolen property, was released on bail after paying 10% of the $4,000 bond. Is it time for Cincinnati to revisit how it looks at policing, how it looks at enforcing laws and protecting folks? If so, how?
Absolutely. And I want to say I am someone who has reached out to the FOP president. I've reached out to faith leaders. I've reached out to business leaders because, of course, as you know, this is on everyone's mind, the topic of safety. And we've got to take a holistic view around this. And so if there are things to improve within the court system, we certainly need to consider those, and we need to bring people to the table to talk about them. I know it's on the police law enforcement's mind, and they are seeing this. So it's something that we need to address.
Honestly,
all right.
I think I'm just gonna pause it there because it just goes around and around and around in a circle. If I'm being honest with you, this whole interview is just like circular and a waste of time. Okay, can I just ask you, Rich?
Yeah.
Do you think that she should resign? And honestly, can we get a little deeper into this? I don't want a yes or no. I want actually like, why do you think she should resign? What evidence do you think that she should resign on? I really want to know some deep shit if she should resign. Like,
no, well,
I mean,
if you notice that young lady, she was not smart enough to fall for that interviewer's questions. Now, he was a better interviewer. He was a better interviewer from the last guy because he got her to say what he wanted her to say. If you notice, he asked her, well, do you think she should resign? And then she started talking and talking and talking. And well, you know, this, that, and the other. And this, he was like, no. I need a yes or no question for you. Mm-hmm. Then she was like, well, you know, I think anybody who, you know, would condone violence should resign. So are you saying that Ms. Parks should resign? And then she said, yeah. So that shows her level of understanding of not falling for what they wanted her to say. So now they got her on record, another black woman saying that, and this is my first time seeing that video. I haven't seen that, but I'm gonna break that down, I guess, a little. But that shows the level of media manipulation. Even when, if you go back and listen to Ms. Parks' video, even when they asked her about Mika Owens' comment, and she was like, yeah, I heard it, because she just read the first part saying, oh yeah, Ms. Parks is a great leader. But then after that, she said, well, but I think she should never make statements that inflame violence. So she said, no, I didn't hear that part. And then you can see her facial expression change. Mm-hmm. But she still did not say nothing bad about it. She was like, well, she, and then she didn't say nothing else because she was about to go in on her because she wanted to say, look, she's just a young, dumb chick. She don't know no better. But she didn't say it. She didn't fall for the trick. So basically that young girl fell for the trick because he asked her, just like that other interview was doing. He asked her the same question 3 times. And every time he asked Ms. Parks the same question, she answered. You know, she kept her answer. When he asked her the same question 3 times, he was able to get her to say what he wanted her to say. So there's no question that she shouldn't resign, and she not resigning. Like everybody knows that, you know, you shouldn't resign for telling the truth.
These people aren't gonna do a goddamn thing. Okay, they're not gonna do shit. Okay, like, just, girl, you told the truth. You said what it is, and they're over here trying to just like imagination, like their way around reality when we saw what happened. And that's what is so frustrating to me. They are over here in the news and they're successfully convincing people that this is what happened. And we are in a dangerous place when this is the narrative of our media. And this is what we're talking, and this is what people are believing. Because, I mean, yes, Katie, please.
So I agree completely with what Jazzy is saying. Like, look at the attempted assassination attempt that happened last year in Butler, Pennsylvania. It was a white man. We never really hear anything about it. And then, like, just other ones too, where, like, well, we don't know. I don't know what that was, but, like, that's just an example. Like, oh, it was a white man. He tried to shoot the president. Okay. And then, what was it?
All of them are most of them are white.
You were talking about how shit is literally happening in front of your own face, and people, they're just trying to convince you that that's not true. It just brings me back to 1984, the book, because that's literally what they did in that what they did, and they would try to say, like, hey, this isn't really happening. You have 6 fingers instead of 5. So, yeah, and that's what they're trying to do now.
Yeah, no, it's a sad state of affairs. Okay, your mama, Marvin.
Yeah. See, y'all crazy. Hold on. Y'all is crazy.
You get a month for
Hey, look, y'all. This is crazy. Hey, look. It's been a great time, and I love discussing this with y'all.
I'm glad that we were able to really tell the truth about what is like what the story really is. And
go ahead, I'm sorry.
And you know, we've been talking about this. Y'all can check out our previous videos on our channel over here at the Millennial Gaze. I'm happy to have everybody here because we be talking like real shit, and we're real people that have real stories to tell and aren't afraid if we got trolls in the chat, because I'm a rat-a-tat-tat, bro. I'm gonna bring you back.
And let me say something in regards to that. Like I spoke to Made Money, you know, about this like a couple of days ago. And me, you know, I don't use curse language, but I don't you know, judge anybody who does, because it's just words. Like if you put a F in place of the word D in duck, you get a quote unquote curse word. But it's just, you know, you place in one letter. You if you know you say we had sex, or we, you know, ducked with an F. And so to me, like who made those bad words, right? But you know, I don't use them because I understand how it offends certain people. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to judge my sister because she talking. I know very intelligent, very spiritual people who use those words, first of all. So once again, like that's how I, you know, like even I don't drink or smoke, right? But, you know, if I go around somebody, because I used to drink and smoke, I'm not going to say, oh, I can't be around you. Nah, be yourself, you know, because that's what I like, you know, for people to be themselves. Also, you know, and we had the conversation early on, you know, and Made Money addressed it. Was like, yo, why you got the white girl here? Why you got the white girl? And once again, I had to discuss that too, because I knew that I was going to share this on my page. And, you know, we have seen, you know, what white people have done. And I was like, okay, well, you know, is it, you know, I've seen white people get uncomfortable, and I know it's uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, if somebody said, well, yeah, black people do all this stuff, I have to admit sometimes, and it's not a good thing to admit, right? Because I'm automatically affiliated with, you know, my race, whether I agree with them or not. But, you know, you have some people who's going to look at Katie, regardless of the fact she's going to be an enemy. You know, that's just how it is. So I just wanted, okay, and you seen how some people was going in the chat like, who is this? Who is it? Why are we talking this one? Once again, like, that I can't decipher nothing but what a person shows me, and some things, I don't know. Katie has never been in a position where she had to choose me or her. You know what I'm saying? In a place of righteousness or truth or justice, blah blah blah. But with that though, like I said, I just had, because I know, like, and I didn't know how this interview was going to go. I didn't know how our conversation was go. I met her. She seemed cool. I talked to Katie. She seemed cool. I asked some questions. We can do it because they had some interest. So, just I give everybody a chance. So, but yeah, y'all was funny in the chat though. Y'all.
Can I just
let Katie speak her piece?
Yeah, go ahead, Katie.
So, my biggest thing is, like, my hometown is very, very white. Like, it's so white. And I learned at a very just like young age that, like, I am one of those people who, I don't care your skin color, I don't care your race, like your religion.
Tell your story, Katie.
I don't.
Tell your story.
Like, so
Go ahead
I was I grew up in a really small town. I had a graduating class of 150 in my class. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody knew everybody's business. It was a full town of white people. It was a very hick town, and I was an artsy kid, and I just never fit in. But I, traveled the world to Europe a couple times, and I've been all over the country just with music and family stuff, and I've never been somebody who judges based on anything that a lot of people judge about. As long as you're not hurting yourself or other people, be you. Be you and love who you love and be the best version of yourself. It's not my place to judge you. And that's what I see when I look at people. I don't see, like, I understand the comments that, like, people are saying in the chat, like, why is this white woman here and all this stuff. And it's like, I get it. Myself and, like, my generation and my race haven't been through hundreds of years of slavery and all the things that, like, a Black culture has and stuff. And I try to be just as respectful as I can. And I try to ask questions so I can get a better understanding of what is going on. And I do appreciate, Richard, you letting me come onto your channel and talking with you. And so
yeah,
I appreciate it.
It's all good.
Can I also just chime in one little bit?
Go ahead.
Katie is the homie that reached out to me when I've been I wouldn't have this channel run. I wouldn't have been able to reach out to Richard. I wouldn't have been able to get this out of the ground without her. This is the one person on the entire planet in Pennsylvania. When I'm in Oakland, I've never met her in real life. She has helped me get this going. So this is a real motherfucking homie right here. And if you got a problem, then you can see your way out, because you will be lucky to have a friend like Katie. All right. So why don't you, everybody that's going to hate on her because of her white skin, you need to look at yourself, because that's not the way we need to be thinking right now, especially when that's not the problem. The problem is these billionaires and these fucking white supremacists. She's not a white supremacist. There are white supremacists out here that are fucking us up each and every day. And we over here talking about Katie. You better get your priorities aligned. Okay.
But so I do gotta jump, is because that this is my opinion on it, because once again I know some some cool like I said, I've been in the streets, right? So when you in the streets and when you using D-rugs, it don't matter who you're dealing with. When you selling or you're using D-rugs or you in a jam, I had some solid white folks, I could call them Virginia, when, like my brother said, somebody said, I live in a black neighborhood all day and I see y'all effing each other up all day. I'm gonna give you like, I had some of my brothers. We was in the, we used to hang around with each other. They were breaking into my houses. They tried to rob my dice game a couple of times. I ain't have a gun. I called this white guy that was one of my customers. He came running and brought me the gun. It's like, man, I told you not to have all those dudes in your house, man. And he came through. Now, once again, I'm not saying that he really liked black people, but he liked me because probably I supplied him with some good D-rugs, right? So there's dynamics to the situation. But what I think people, and Katie, because a couple people mentioned it in the chat, people really want people like yourself is to address the people that who are like that, because we can't get them to stop. We don't have the power. You might have the power, you might have the influence, you might have the understanding of what they're thinking about to be like, nah, man, you wrong. And when we don't see that, or when we don't, then that's when you get, the why are you here? If you're not going to go just as hard for us and not with us, because it's easy to talk like you're talking now when you're with us, but when like somebody said, ask your grandparents to stop, right? You know what I'm saying? But so it's for you to approach your grandparents or your uncle who's a cop. Not saying that just you, but I'm talking about a person like you in general. Like for you to approach this cop that that be jerking over black people, like, look, bro, come on, man, like, nah, but for you to stay silent, even if he's not going to stop.
But can I just be a teensy bit of a devil's advocate here?
Yeah, let's
just
go.
Because we gotta a little bit here. Please be careful. Use your privilege wisely, because these people are out of control. And they will get to whooping ass on everybody. Like, some of these people are absolutely deranged in this country right now, and what we're dealing with. I as much as I definitely this is the way to use the platform. Be a part of the conversations. Talk to your people. But a lot of these people are abusers and straight up crazy, bro. So I just want everybody to also make sure that they're careful, because look what happens. Look what happened in the whole story. We're right back around with what we were just talking about. That white man slapped that black man first. Okay, these people are not safe people to even be around. They should not be in society. Okay. I'm just being a bean. And people like Katie, what is she gonna do against somebody that's willing to put hands on people out of nowhere for just because they're racist? Like, I mean, these people are not to be rifled with, because they are unpredictable and they're hateful. So you got to be ready to fight back. Like,
we once again, but we don't have that luxury of being quiet and not being harmed. You know what I'm saying? Like so we have to push back. Okay, Katie has that luxury. Okay, well, even though I don't agree with it, I can sit back and be over here. Nobody's going to bother me. But I don't have that luxury, because at any given time, the police or anybody can do something to me. And so that's when you do have to put yourself on the line, because we put ourselves on the line every day just by existing.
I agree.
I don't have to say I don't like racism. Like, racism is at my door whether I speak it or not. But once again, that we have the protection or the privilege, as some call it, to sit back and say, okay, well, I don't like it, but I know if I want to keep my alliances, if I want to keep my job, if I want to get my inheritance, whatever the case may be, I can be quiet and I'm safe. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have the luxury to do that. So, it's once again, it's just that dynamic. You know what I mean? It's just that dynamic when you say, okay, be careful what you say, Katie, but I can't, I can be very careful and I can still be the victim of injustice, racism, blah, blah, blah. Like we have to live it. So, I don't have the ability to duck behind, a mask. I can't take my blackness off and say, okay, well, this is not going to affect me for today.
Well, and part of why I do this and do like this channel, and I'm involved with just local protests, is I know I have privilege being a white woman. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to protest and I'm going to be vocal about how I feel because I have that privilege and it's the least that I can do right now.
Hey Marvin, I don't know who you are, but you funny, man. He's stupid. Hey.
I missed it. What he say?
He talking about instead of Lord Jamar, Richard got Katie. If you don't know who Lord Jamar is, he was a 80s or early 90s rapper who was with Brand Nubian. He's very conscious and and stuff like that. So he said instead of he is stupid. I don't even know who you is, but I appreciate you, man, for making because y'all was going in earlier. But like I said, we gotta, because I do this every day. You know what I'm saying?
Who's got to be 420 in the chat? Hey, bring that 420 in.
It's good to laugh about it sometimes because it does get draining when you're seeing all this and you're trying to make people aware, and you're trying to make a difference, and you're trying to get a solution, you're trying to get understanding. Because once again, I understand it. This is something that I've studied, but that's basically it. Somebody just made it clear. I think Katie does get the fact that she knows racism exists. Sometimes that's all, you know what I'm saying? Like because that kills me when white people say, well, a cop shoots a black man. Well, what about black on black crime? We know that, you know what I'm saying? This is not what we talking about. Like if it's my birthday and you come in my birthday party, it's like, hey, my birthday party is tomorrow. Like, nah, it's not about your birthday party. You know what I'm saying? It's about this right here. So sometimes just acknowledging it is half the battle. You know what I'm saying? It's half the battle. And, then we can get to the difficult conversations about what could be done. But yeah, I do gotta, like I said, we said an hour, so I do got to kind of chime out.
We are right on the brink of the hour.
But yeah,
hey, so before we all log out, first of all, I want to thank everybody for being here. This was a great conversation, and it got a little punchy at times, and I like that shit. I like it. I'm here for it. I am not afraid to go toe to toe with somebody and talk for real. So, and honestly, thank you so much for joining us, Rich. Don't be a stranger. If you got something else to bring to the table, you're always welcome on the show. Before I let you get your spiel, I just want to have Katie introduce herself and thank everybody for being here and say your last final. I wanted everybody to say something positive that to send to everybody in our chat, in our community, something cool,
You want me to go first then?
Yeah.
Okay, something positive. I did really enjoy this conversation and meeting you, Richard. You're really cool. Thank you for having me on your channel as well. And for just I've just been kind of sitting here thinking a lot, but for the people making like the comments and stuff, I appreciate you sticking up for me, but I get it. There's a lot of history and fear and anger and hurt, and you can't forget the past. But there's people like me that are out here trying to move forward and help make the future better, not just for like white people like me, but everybody. So
I love you, Katie, because you're a real one. You are a lot stronger than you know. And I've been trying to uplift you up because you are so brave and so courageous from first I met you. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And I mean that on mamas.
On mothers. That's DC talk, right? On mothers. All right, I'll start using that. But yeah, so yeah, thank y'all for having me, man. I really appreciate y'all. I like conversations of all kind. Like I said, I have, white people call me all the time, and it starts off like we going back and forth. But then, after a while, it's just like, okay, we just have two different perceptions. You know what I'm saying? I talk about, the Cincinnati Brawl. They talk about, something that a black man did. It's just that. And so, it's good to have these conversations. And I think, once again, man, we just have to, once again, be honest and transparent about everything. So, I thank everybody for being honest and transparent, whether your honesty is punchy, I like that word, you know what I'm saying, or your honesty is, a little softer. But, once again, scripture says you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And so
truth
that is
and justice are family.
Okay.
And Lady Justice uses the sword, okay? To keep the truth, sometimes you need to cut. And so be sure that if you're really talking truth, that you're really about it, because you're going to have to defend it with the sword. Anyway, everybody, my positive thing of the day is don't get caught slipping, because everybody is out here to fuck with you. If you ain't got $1 billion, you better keep your head on the swivel, because you are not special. You are not great. You are down here with all of us. So you better get used to it and fuck fascism. And honestly, no, but I really mean it. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Thank you for being here. And make sure you take care of community and keep each other in your hearts. Okay. Thanks for being here, guys. Bye.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings.
We the people unite.